Welcome to the Red Half of Sheffield preview pod. We got a game midweek. I think it's on Wednesday as well in the Carabao / No One Cares Cup. United play Lincoln City, the Imps of League One, and I am joined from the Stacey West podcast / blog. I'll put the slash in there. I'm joined by Charlie. Charlie, how are you doing this early morning East Coast and afternoon London time? How are you?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, looking forward to going away to a Premier League stadium on Wednesday night.
Yeah, a Premier League stadium, just a little bit
for this season, maybe.
Yeah, for this season. Yeah. We're just coming off the back of the Man City 2-1 defeat, straight into this. So yeah, we'll get into it. Charlie, how's the Imps' summer been this season?
Honestly, really, really good. We've just played our fifth league game. We are on 10 points, 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. The loss was against Bolton, who everybody is tipping to be one of, if not the title contender for League One. And honestly, we're just playing really, really well. We've made some really good transfers. I can't help but to smile every time I'm talking about Lincoln at the minute because we're just in such a solid position both on and off the pitch. I think we're potentially going to have a chance at pushing for playoffs this season. So there's so much positivity in and around the club, both on and off the field. So this game away at Bramall Lane, it's another kind of string to that bow.
Yeah. I mean, for everything, the viewers of this pod, for everyone that knows, I'm a big EFL fan, so I keep my pulse, Championship, League One, and League Two, and yeah, I've kind of had one eye, watching on the Imps because obviously aside from the draw in this cup, I followed them all the way from the National League, and talking to Charlie prior to recording, I remember the season they got promoted, and it honestly came down between Lincoln City and Sheffield United as who I was going to support. And it would be totally crazy to think if I would be on your side right now. It's man, that would be so freaking crazy. But I mean, it's the fun of the game, and it's fun finding a club aside from, as I talk so often over here in America, not a freaking Premier League side, not a big side, someone further down the leagues. That's what it's all about, man. It's a hometown club.
This is the thing. I love, I'm born and bred Lincoln, and I've loved this club for as long as I can remember. My first game back in 2011, it was a 1-1 draw. I remember, and it's nothing inspiring, but I just love going down to the ground. And what's really good is, at the minute, we'll go away to some grounds. And so, don't get me wrong, we're taking just under 3,000 to Bramall Lane on Wednesday. It's going to be, so many of us are going to be there. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We'll make a right good noise because we always have a really good away following all these sorts of things. But I also prefer your Accringtons away, your Bristol Rovers away, your Exeter aways, the ones where actually only 100-200 people go, because you're stood around in that concourse and you know everybody. You won't know the name. You don't need to know the name. You don't know anything about them, but you can be stood there talking to them for 2 minutes at every single match, talking the same rubbish, and it's absolutely incredible. And they're the sorts of things I love. When they say that football, you have a football family, it's not some sad cliche. It is that, and like I say, especially in the EFL, and non-league.
Yeah, 100%. That's where I feel like it's almost a tighter knit group as even in the National League, or even like National League South and National League North. That's where, when your ground is smaller and you're only allotted probably about just say 1,000 at the match. I mean, that has got to be where it feels like a tight knit group. And like you said, taking 100, 200 away somewhere. Yeah, you don't know their name, but you've seen them a half a dozen times. You've seen them every time you go away, and you're like, "Hey, what's going on?" You can shoot the shit with them and just chat them up and say, "Oh, we're rubbish. Oh, we're flying at the moment." That's what it's all about, man.
And it's always so much more fun when we are flying because those conversations are always a lot more positive.
Yeah, right. So off of the back of yesterday's 3-0 win against Blackpool, get into it. What tell the viewers how you guys got on yesterday in that win.
Yeah, so it was a 3-0 victory against the side who had just come down from the Championship, a side who people were also tipping to get top 6. It was a real kind of barometer of where we were, and for that to then be a 3-0 home victory was massive. It's back-to-back 3-0 home victories as well, because we also beat Wickham at home a couple of weeks back, and that was also a 3-0 victory. Yesterday, we scored 2 penalties. So, you might kind of look at it and say that we're struggling, but no, it was the penalty. The penalties were stonewall pens. We didn't. Our striker, Ben House, I wouldn't say he necessarily earned them both, but he was, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He was smart. He was just a proper smart striker, and he is. That's what Ben House is. He's proper pressing forward. He's got a real footballing brain. But yeah, we then also scored a really nice goal. It was a deflected goal, but it was Ethan Arahan, one of our midfielders, one of, if not our best player, picked up the ball sort of 30 yards inside of our own half and just ran with it, ran the whole length of the field. It just seemed to part like the Red Sea, and boom, shot straight into the, like I said, deflected, but then straight into the top corner. So the goalkeeper had no chance. We're not a team that normally hold possession.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that we showed yesterday. We had a lot less possession than Blackpool. And in the first round of this Carabao, who cares about it, Cup, as you put it, we had 27% possession against Notts County to their 73%, and we won 2-0 with an unbelievably comfortable victory. We're a team that out of possession, we are so very strong, which also gives us much more of a chance against a side like yourselves, because we're not going to go to Bramall Lane and expect to have more of the ball than you.
Mm-hmm.
But then actually us being robust, us being able to flick on the switch and get a goal whilst not having much of the ball it's going to be a real asset for us Wednesday night.
Yeah. So give us a couple of the players that we should watch out for Wednesday night.
Yeah, so obviously Ethan Arahan, as I mentioned, he's a midfielder we signed from St Mirren last January. And that guy's destined to be in the Premier League. There is no denying he will be in the Championship next season. Whether that's with us or whether that's somebody else, he will be in the Championship next season. And then the sky's the limit for him. An absolutely incredible midfielder. So calm on the ball. He can pick out a pass. He can make incredible challenges. He's so aware of everything around him. He's a step above League One already.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still a young lad. We've also got Danny Mandroyu, who is a wide forward of ours, sort of playing in a number 10 role / a wide forward, depending on the situation, but normally more of a kind of wide number 10. And he's a young Irish lad, came over from Shamrock Rovers. Last season, he had an okay season, but we'd always sort of said, as soon as he gets a solid pre-season with us, because last season he came over injured and a few issues with that, we always said, as soon as he gets a solid pre-season with us, he'll fly. And my God, is he doing that? 1 goal, 3 assists already in the league alone. Just an incredible start to the season. And then I also mentioned Ben House. Ben House is our striker. He's a proper pressing forward. If you're wanting to try and play the ball around your back 3 or 5, you're going to struggle, because he will just be at you constantly. And I say that to everybody I do previews with, because he does not let your defense rest for 1 minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it certainly should be interesting. So do you think Lincoln City, before I ask you your thoughts on Wednesday night's game, do you think you guys are going to put out a full-strength squad, or do you think there's going to be a bit of squad rotation?
So I had a chat about this with Gary on our pod that we recorded earlier on, and he seems to think that we're going to make quite a few changes. I'm under the impression we're going to go out with a full strength squad, and it will be full strength. We had a game yesterday. We've also got a game next Saturday. I know that you guys have also got obviously a tight schedule, tighter than what ours is. But I think the fact that we've then not got a midweek game the week after, I think it'll be a more or less full strength squad with maybe 1 or 2 changes. But our first 11. We probably have 7 or 8 players that are on that bench that if we put into that first 11 now, it actually doesn't make that much of a difference. Our squad depth this season, we've made some really, really solid signings, smart signings, to the point where even if we were to weaken our side, in quotation marks, it doesn't make it weak.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because you never know with especially the EFL congestion schedule, and everybody watching this knows from last season we played every Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, and now being in the Prem, we have a game every 7 days. So it's hard to decide. I think United are going to put out a severely changed squad. I think we're going to make a lot of changes going into Wednesday night's game. That being said, your thoughts on Wednesday night. Give me what you think's going to happen. The final score. You can say Lincoln City put 7 past us and make us absolutely embarrassed at Bramall Lane.
Nice.
It's over to you. Your thoughts on this game.
It would be really nice if that were to happen. No, look, I'm not under any illusion that Wednesday's going to be some easy game that we're gonna go to Bramall Lane and take the piss. It's not going to be the case. Although the general consensus from other Lincoln fans and myself included is that Wednesday night's a winnable game. Everybody knows the struggles that you guys have had off the field. Everybody's aware of your transfer window being lacking. The fact that you're, and I mean no disrespect to him as a player, but the fact that Will Asula, who couldn't get into the Derby squad in League One, is starting in the Premier League for you, it says a lot. And like I said, that's not a dig at him as a striker, but it's the level that you need to be at to be in the Premier League isn't the level that you guys are currently at. And I know you'll admit that. Everybody's got you down as finishing in 20th place. I do myself. I do think that's going to happen. Realistically, you guys are currently a championship side. The fact that you've got Premier League badge on your sleeve doesn't necessarily scare me. I do think we can go out there and really take the fight to you. I do think it'll be a close game. If we lose, it won't be by any more than 1 goal. I think you're actually going to suit the way that we play, because I'll just mention the Forest game. I said sort of pre-recording that I watched your game against Forest, and one thing that kind of hit me was the fact that you seem to just constantly be resorting to lifting the ball into the penalty area, hoping that somebody will get their head on it. Now, we've got 3 very, very solid defenders who are really airily solid. So I feel like if you're going to try and do stuff like that, then you're just going to play into our hands, which is then going to give us the chance. I feel like there is a chance that we're going to keep the scoreline low. A 2-1 either way is something that could happen. A 1-0, a 0-0, a 1-1. It's not going to be a 3-4-0 victory to yourselves, which as a League One side playing a Premier League side, you would typically expect us to be turned over, but I just don't see that happening. I really think we've got a really good chance, and I think that's born out of the optimism that Lincoln currently have in their camp, and also some of the pessimism that I see in the Sheffield United camp.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I actually think it either goes 0-0 or 1-1, and then you guys take us on penalties because we are horrible. I mean, I haven't seen us kick a penalty in over a calendar year. We only got awarded 1 last year in the championship. I was actually there for it, and it was missed. It was against Millwall. It was against Millwall, and so we're not very good at penalties. I think Lincoln City take this one on penalties. It goes because in the Nobody Cares Cup, it goes 90 minutes and straight to pens. It doesn't go to extra time. Yeah. So thank God there. It'll probably go to like 18 or 19 penalties, and you guys take it 18 to 17 on penalties. Some crazy outlandish score for penalties. But no, I think Lincoln City take this. Look, you said it 100%. Will Asula, our attacks, Ben Traore. If you just watch the game today, maybe McBurney gets in, maybe Cameron Archer comes in to get a little bit of up to speed.
I'd expect Traore to get the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
from the outside looking in.
He is terrible. He isn't. Asula, you brought up the point about Asula not being anywhere near a Premier League. Of course he's not. He like you said, he didn't even get into the Derby side last year. Why are we starting him? But we're so thin on injury because we have so many injuries. McBurney just finally came back this afternoon. Brewster's still out. He'll probably never play for us again because he's always injured. But yeah, I mean, if we do put out a full strength side, it could be a different result. But I think we're going to have a change side. It's going to be a close, tight game. Yeah. Lincoln City taking on Pens.
I'm more than happy to agree with that.
Yeah, I just think in a down year for United, I don't think too much is going to go our way. We have to make our own luck from somewhere. But, all will be played out on the pitch Wednesday night. One more question before I get out of here. And ask every opposing team this question. I'll start off. It's a two-party question. Final day of the season, your honest thoughts. Is Lincoln playing in the championship, or are they in the playoffs, or are they another season in League One? And the second part to that question, your favorite pre-match beverage on match day.
Ooh, right. Okay. End of season. I want to say playoffs. I really want to say playoffs. Playoffs. I think that may be slightly optimistic, but at this point we're riding high. So let's keep it going. Yeah, playoffs. And pre-match beverage. Well, I'm a lager man. I'll whatever the best type of lager is that's available in the concourse on an away day or anything like that. Yeah, that's my usual.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. A pint of Carling does the heart well.
Carling. Oh, come on. I've respected you before that.
Yes. I love it. And I can't get it over here in the States. So when I come over in February or March of next year, whenever my stag do is, I've got to shuttle some back over because I can't get it over here because
you're going to do a booze run to the UK just for Carling.
just for Carling. Yes.
Oh, my Lord.
All right, so we're going to get out of here. Charlie, give the people all the plugs for the social media and before we get out of here.
Yeah, guys, make sure to go check out the Stacey West podcast. Make sure to go check out the Stacey West on YouTube as well. Little behind the curtain sneak preview. Me and Chad are also going to be recording something that we're going out on our YouTube. So make sure to go check that out. And yeah, obviously do all the liking, subscribe, and all of that sort of stuff. Check us out on Twitter. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And if everything goes well, we might be playing Lincoln City back in the championship next season. As far as you guys know the deal, cjarvis_13 on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called nowadays. YouTube channel, you're watching this, you're on the Red Half of Sheffield YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Listen to our pod. Until Wednesday night at Bramall Lane when we face the mighty Imps of Lincoln City, I will leave you with Up the Blades.